dude. Like how? Like you must be early 20s, yeah.
Yeah, well, 25, mid-20s.
Mid 20s, yeah. I thought, very, very young looking young man. I'm like, oh, you're 23. You look 23 to me. So you've been out of. So when did you do your? So you went to film school. Are you an afters guy or an SAE guy? I'm
Um,
sensing.
I did go to afters. I did a short diploma course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did one of those for like 6 months. It was like uh camera diploma, diploma in camera fundamentals.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty good. Was that a good experience or?
Yeah, that was a really good experience. I actually learned heaps. Because I'm mainly self-taught, and there's like a lot of gaps in my knowledge of like camera sort of stuff. So then
Yeah, I
going
know what you
to
mean.
afters, kind of like filled those holes in my
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah, there's only so much you can learn online.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm a massive tutorial fan. Like
Oh, yeah.
I've got a double degree in communication, but anything I've learned from film, other than I suppose theory. I learned a lot of theory at uni, but theory is not practical.
Yeah.
Practical is practical it's a practice for a reason. Mainly YouTube. I'm a practitioner from YouTube.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I learned a lot of my stuff back in the day. I was just watching YouTube tutorials.
Yeah.
Like Indie Mogul was probably the biggest channel back then for filmmakers.
Yeah,
Low
what
budget.
was one I used to do? Film Riot.
Oh yeah, that one as well.
Yeah, Film Riot was pretty cool because it was more of a skip over. They didn't give you the finer details, but they gave you the basic mechanics of how things were assembled, and then you could
Yeah.
go do finer tuned tutorials on, I don't know, not as simple as import export, but you know what I mean, the smaller attributes of filmmaking.
Yeah.
So you're an editor and a cinematographer.
Yes.
Yeah. Which one's your closer flavour?
Probably cinematography.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind editing. I got to have the right clients for that.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, with some clients they're a little bit picky with how the edit goes.
Revisions.
Yeah.
Revisions are very challenging. Very challenging. Oh, well, let's continue that. I think we're ready to go. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think we're ready.
I think we're ready to go. Are you ready to go, Mr. Wade?
all good.
All good? And welcome to the Pagey Train. Today over in the studio with me, Adam McPhilbin. Adam McPhilbin from McPhilbin. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, really good. I was rehearsing that in my head and I totally screwed it up. I'm terrible with last names, but now you've got a company and last name that rhyme, which was impossible for me to navigate. Yeah, man. We were just talking just before the intro, about editing versus cinematography. Being more of a cinematographer and dealing with clients and revisions. What do you find that? What do you find that as a challenge?
Because some clients don't really have like an artistic background, so they don't really know what they want, so they can't really communicate what they want very well, and you kind of have to guess, and that's kind of frustrating a lot of the times.
Well, I've learned something that's helpful with that actually, and that is using the right dialogue when you're being sold on them as a practitioner. So when they send me, like I had one sent to me recently, yesterday, and they've sent me examples of what they want, which is always handy. Examples are great when they give you like, I want it to look like this clip. You go, okay,
Oh, yeah.
I can get that. So a way you bring that about is ask them can you show me something similar to what you want? Actually, send me a link to a video that you have thought of.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Because then you watch what they think. You can see, okay, so you want an interview with some overlay,
Yeah.
and you want some nice music in the background, and you want it topped and tailed with your graphic. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But there's other clients that will be like, they want more of a walk through their establishment, or they want something that's more nuanced. They want more track shots, or they want more, they want aerial shots because they might give you an example of lots of aerial shots. You go, okay, you want a lot of drone stuff. Okay, I can see where you're going. So ask for a reference of what they're thinking. Another thing I would say is when you set the narrative talking to them, all right, well, send me an email of what you want and we'll try and figure out what you need.
Yeah.
See what I did there? And we'll try and figure out what you need, because then it already sets the thing of we have different language.
Yeah.
If you try and treat it the same language, then it becomes frustrating really quickly. I've never walked on a client. I've never walked on one, but man, I've been close.
Yeah.
I think there's been some clients that they expect, they see a lot of TV and they see a lot of Netflix, and we're surrounded by graphics, and they have an expectation of graphics, but graphics are expensive.
Yeah.
Like, think about you as an hourly rate and with all your gear, and then someone goes, "Oh man, I'll give you like $150 if you can just do this." You're like, $150, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's not gonna cut it. You can get enrolled in an idea though. I do it cheaper for creative projects, but corporate, that's the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. But going back to cinematography, what draws you to be a cinematographer? Why cinematography?
I guess the short answer is I just like filming stuff, really. But why do I like cinematography? Never really thought of it like that. I just
something drew
I like
you to
movies.
it.
I like the look of movies. Different looks of movies, and trying to replicate that, I guess.
It's an interesting question. Like, if I ask it like like myself, I go, why do I want to be a singer? Like, is it something that I need to express, or do I want to be a rock star standing in the middle of the room being a cool guy? Like, there's a lot of elements to it.
Yeah.
And I think there's part of us that go the ego. We're like, no, I want to be really cool and I want to fit in. I just want to fit in. And then you realize the thing you're doing doesn't make you fit in.
Yeah.
It makes you extraordinary. And then I think when you start looking at that, you can go, what's the emotion that drives me to here? And me as a cinematographer, I like to go I like making pretty pictures, and I like making people happy. I like promoting people. I'm big on promotional videos. Love making promotional videos. Love doing voiceovers for promotional content. It's something that makes me feel good. And it's something that the more you tune it, like, because, man, how long have you been a cinematographer for?
Probably about 7 years now. I've just straight out of high school. I just went straight into it.
Yeah, okay. So you started in high school?
Yeah, so I basically used high school as, I guess, my film school.
Mm-hmm.
Using that time that I had just to like
Smart
learn.
man.
Yeah, ever since I left school, I just went straight into it.
Okay. Let's unpack this. Let's see what
Okay.
has driven Adam to be a cinematographer. Let's unpack this. So you started out from high school, and then you decided at some point to go to film school, but you were working on doing YouTube and doing YouTube tutorials.
It wasn't YouTube tutorials. So when I first started filmmaking, I wanted to do more visual effects.
Mm-hmm.
And turns out I'm actually really terrible at visual effects. So
see, there's now the penny's dropping with this, man. I
Yeah.
can relate to this. I really can. Why did you want to do visual effects for?
I just loved Star Wars back in the day. So I wanted to learn how to do like lightsabers and like
Yeah.
explosions and stuff like that. And even though I wasn't very good at doing like those sort of visual effects, I've learned heaps from doing that, and that I can actually use it in what I do today.
It's interesting how it overlaps like that.
Yeah.
And how where you have a destination, and we have an idea of a destination, and then you start going towards it, and you go, but now I'm over here. How did I get here? I got into filmmaking to be a Foley artist. That's what I got in for. I wanted to make soundscapes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it took. I went on a journey of being a director and a cinematographer. A pretty decent director and an okay cinematographer. And I eventually got back to Foley, but it took a full revolution to do it. I wanted to get into Foley because of I was a musician. Well, still am a musician. I was into music and sound, and I had a deep understanding of it. Like, you probably look at Star Wars and have a deep understanding of like, wow, so they've done this to do that, and you understand like renders and keyframing, rotoscoping.
Done plenty of that in my time.
But it's hard, man.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting that you choose cinematography over editing.
Yeah.
They're two different personality types, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I do like meeting new people because I do a lot of documentary work as well. So it's like you get to meet interesting people and you get to hear their stories as well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that kind of overlaps with one of the earlier questions where, why I enjoy cinematography is just, learning.
Communication.
Learning about like new topics as well.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I think my chest just exploded. Meeting people, learning new things. I can relate to that as well. Especially doing this kind of thing, like doing a podcast. I have my selfish reasons for doing it, but I have my selfless reasons for doing it. And my selfish reasons are because I get to learn from people. I get to have these in-depth conversations about why they, who they are, and how they do things. And the reason, and that's my selfish reason, but my selfless reason is, well, I have an opportunity to promote people and talk about what they're doing. So editing, I find people more introverted, like to stay inside, don't like talking to people. Cinematographers don't mind talking to people, don't mind getting out and about. But graphics, oh man, I've given it a shot. I'm not like, what were you trying in After Effects or?
Yeah, at the time, After Effects.
Yeah. How far did you get with After Effects before you've gone, nah?
I think I went pretty far. I was doing like a lot of like random little visual effects stuff. I think the cinematography came because, like, with the visual effects, I had to also film my own stuff, and then slowly it kind of was like, you know what, I enjoy the filming more than the visual effects, and of course I'm not good at visual effects, so I should probably, not go down that road.
Yeah.
And it was only like 2D effects, and, there's also the 3D side, and I can't wrap my head around that still to this day.
Yeah, it's a lot, because you got to look at the 3 axes, and then in motion 3 axes. That's like, whoa. And then you look at rotoscopers, you're like, how do you have the patience to do that? I think you have to be a very meticulous, calm person. Every time I do graphics, man, every time I get a client and there's graphics involved, I can do them, but I always find myself with a sore back because I lean in to the computer when I do graphics. I like lean in. When I'm editing, I just sit back and edit, man. I'm a bit of a mixed bag, though. I'm a mixed bag. I don't mind the edit. I find it's like a language. But cinematography is a language as well.
Yeah.
How you put a frame together and how you shoot that frame, what you choose to be in focus, it tells a story.
Yeah.
There's certainly a storytelling aspect of it. But back to unpacking the cinematography thing. We're going to get to the bottom of this, Adam. All right. So you liked the special effects because of images, and you wanted to build those images.
Yeah.
And the challenge was it's a steep climb to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you had to do cinematography to then figure out how to do the special effects.
Yeah.
And then fell in love with the cinematography.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So how long ago was that? That was about 7 years ago? 8 years ago?
Well, when I made the switch.
Yeah. When did you make the switch?
Probably like mid-high school. I probably decided to start focusing more on filming stuff.
Oh, well, was that far back?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I was the weird kid in high school that loved doing film stuff, so.
I was a bit like that.
Yeah.
But I was more of a filming illegal activity, getting into trouble kind of footage. I remember the first thing I learned was in iris control. I took a camera outside. It worked inside. But I'm outside. It's all fucked. You're like, what the hell's going on, man? It worked in there. You're like, oh, light. Oh, yeah, okay. It's too bright out here, and you got to figure out the iris. It took me a while to figure that out, actually. There was a lot of trial and error. No YouTube back in 90s. No YouTube. You had to go just...
Oh, yeah. I think it was like mid-2000s it came out, YouTube.
Was it that? Was it then?
Yeah, I think it was like 2006.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was a big hype, too, when YouTube came out. Having a different video platform other than terrestrial broadcast.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Oh, man. Dude, you're missing out. You're missing out on dial tone phones and fax mail.
I vaguely remember the dial tone.
Vaguely remember it? Okay. Do you know how to use a dial tone phone?
No.
Yeah, see?
I just remember the tone.
Yeah, you can do it. It's not that when you know it, it's like, oh yeah, that's how you use a phone.
Yeah.
But these days it's like, do you even know anyone's phone number?
Beside my mum's, that's like the only.
That's the only one you know. Is that a landline?
No, mobile.
Mobile? You remember a mobile?
I do remember my home phone number from
when you were a kid.
Yeah.
I also remember my. I can tell it because it's like, who knows what phone number this is? 264959.
No.
No, that's there forever. Don't say yours. It's probably still valid. Yeah, I don't. I only know my own number. Like even my wife's number, I have to go. Oh, I know it, but I have to like dig in there to get it out. So as you get older, you can't remember numbers, but you don't dial numbers. Who dials a number?
It's a contact in the phone. You just press whoever's name it is. And
Press. I do a voice command.
oh wow,
Got an earpiece
I need to get
in.
up with the times. You know, you gotta.
Yeah, man. Man, Siri, you
Oh,
just double click it on your ear, like, buzz. Call Misty. Bang. I actually, to tell the truth, I do I always talk funny to Siri to see if Siri will understand me. Like, so, if I go to call Adam, I won't go, Siri, call Adam. I won't do that. I go, Siri, call Adam. And it'll do it. It's like, it does it every time. And I do these strange, stupid accents to try and confuse Siri, and she always gets it. She gets she doesn't get emotional, though. Have you ever told Siri that you love her?
I'm not a iPhone user.
Oh, you're not an iPhone user. Oh, you're a green bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to get on that blue bubble shit, bro.
I don't know. A lot of people have been saying that I should, but I'm too deep in the whole Android, system. So
Yeah. So it's more convoluted though. Android, like Apple, is easy as. Oh, well, when you do editing, do you edit on a Mac or a PC?
PC.
Oh, blasphemy. But you're doing Premiere Pro or
DaVinci.
DaVinci?
Yeah.
Oh, la-di-da.
Yeah.
That. What, are you rocking? Like, what's your camera do you rock? Do you rock an Ursa or
Pocket 4K.
Pocket 4K? Yeah, okay.
But I also use the GH4 when I'm doing like smaller client sort of stuff where it's like quick turnaround, or I'm passing the footage onto somebody that's not really an editor and they don't want to have to do color correction and
they don't have the computer power to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the GH4s, man. I rock the GH4s all the time. They make me money, man. They're a money maker. They're cheap and they make money.
Good image quality as well.
Yeah, you get everything. If you light it properly, you'll get everything you want.
Yeah.
Like we're streaming through it right now,
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I run for hello everyone. But with this kind of technology, go straight live to Facebook, YouTube, do anything you want. So streaming clients with the GH4 and a little ATEM switcher, you can make a lot of money real quick.
Yeah.
And you make the same amount of money doing that than you do a music video.
That's true.
Speaking of music videos, you've recently been on a shoot. You've done a couple. I saw you in an aeroplane and you were shooting a Ferrari or something like that. Tell us about that.
It was the same music video.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Well, tell us about it. Who was the artist and what was your experience like?
The artist's name is Tina. I'm not sure what her last name is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that experience was really good. We just shot it all in a day. I just shot it with my Pocket 4K. We did we did like a black room sort of thing with a smoke machine and just like one light coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah.
Yeah, you just busted it out. Are you editing it as well, or are you just shooting it?
No, I was just shooting it.
Oh man, that's even better. You get to hand it off. Yeah, that's great. Oh man, handing it off. Yeah, not my problem anymore. I've shot it. It's in focus. That's your problem now.
Yeah, as long as it's in focus and lit correctly, you're pretty good.
Yeah, dealing with a musician doing a music video edit would be stressful. Well, sorry, let me rephrase that. Is stressful.
Yeah, I've done some edits for artists before, and it really is stressful.
A lot of revising.
Yes.
Yeah. I love a corporate client because you can pull in black and white. You can say 2 revisions. You got 2 revisions. Check your spelling.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a fee.
True. Yeah.
I don't know. What's your balance though? Do you have more music videos or more corporate sort of stuff?
More corporate community sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do like doing music videos because it's creative. You can get away with a lot of things and try a lot of things as well. With corporate stuff, they're, I wouldn't say easy, but like they're more simple in terms of like shots and like the process of it.
The back and forth of it.
Yeah.
Interview, overlay, track shot, zoom in.
Yeah.
Gaussian blur, pull out, package it together, music, top tail.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty much. It's pretty much the workflow. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I like the corporate clients. But music videos are stressful. I like shooting them, but I hate editing them. I hate editing music videos. But it pays well. Pays well to do music videos. If you
Sometimes.
yeah, you got to get the money out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll pay defer it. When they get paid, I'll pay you. Like, no, you'll pay me now.
Yeah. They always try that. They always try to be like, oh, when I get paid, when I become a big star, I'll...
Yeah, but do you know what they do, though? They don't do that. Because then they go, well, now I'm a big star. And then they go and hire another, more well-known cinematographer.
Yeah, it's true.
So you'll do it, like, if you got it done between 2, 5, 10 grand, whatever, then they'll go pay 100 grand. But they won't give it to you. They'll give it to someone else.
Yeah.
Because they know they've got better. It's not about how they're shooting it either. They're more connected, so they can get their video out there. Yeah, it sucks, man. Don't do paid deferral, kids. Get paid up front.
Yeah.
Or on delivery. On delivery's fine.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Are you a watermarker? Are you jaded enough to watermark yet?
Yes, I have done that. Only for music videos when I know they're going to be dodgy and like stuff me around. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna send you a low res watermark, just so you can't use it. And then once you've paid it, I'll take the watermark off, and then I'll send
high res. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah, because they always try to say, "Oh, can you send it to me first and then I'll pay you?" I'm like, nah. Once the money comes through, I'll send it through.
Do you? Is the edit locked? Do you agree? Yep. Then great. Pay me, and then you get the product, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't know about the color correction. But well, you can see it there. It's right there.
Yeah. It's all there.
Do you put an ugly? Like, how ugly is your watermark when you do it to them? I get pissed off sometimes. I just like blast my emblem all over it.
I pretty much fill the whole screen, and then I bring the opacity down on the text. Just about 50 or even like 30%.
Yeah, no, I do 50.
No, okay.
50. Like it's there.
Choose like a really thick font.
Yeah, it's got my name all over it. Blasted wallpaper.
Yeah.
You got to, man. Yeah, I'll pay you later. No, you won't. You'll pay me now, or I'll just hold on your content. So you got to be. That's what I try to say to people sometimes. Because we're talking about clients before about translating what they want, figuring out what they want. So there's this dialogue separation about understanding. Yeah. So you got to figure out what they want, and then you've got to put that together and hope that they're happy. And then I've lost my train of thought. Where was I going, Wade? Where was I going?
You gotta put it together.
You gotta put it together and do. Yeah, no.
I
lost my train of thought. I was just saying. Well, I guess what I was talking about was dealing with difficult clients, and the difficult client can be the artist, and they want to pay you later. They want to do this over revised work, like it's done, man, and they're like, no, it's not. I need to put this shot in here. And like, you're not paying me enough for this, and you probably haven't paid me yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's right. You've got to be a translator. All right. So with corporate clients, you've got to translate. All right. So you want this. So I'm going to read your mind. You want this, and you give me a reference video, and you want it like that. Okay, got that. Translate it. Fine. But with music videos, you're a bit of a hostage negotiator.
Yeah.
I've got your baby, right? I've got your music video, totally in sync. It's ready to go, color graded. You can practically taste the dance rhythm in this thing, right?
Yeah.
And if you pay me, you can have it. So you've got to be a hostage negotiator, and the hostage is the content.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got to be a translator and a hostage negotiator, and if you can figure that out whilst moving amongst the technicalities that are always changing with cinematography and editing, while owning your own gear, you might make some money.
Yeah.
You just might. So but you've been a busy boy, other than music videos, but you've been working on a couple of features or just a recent feature.
Yeah, just a recent feature, and then like a lot of like short films, just around. Yeah.
Well, what was your recent feature? What have you been working on?
I mean, the recent feature was Echo 8 with Maria Tran.
Oh yeah.
I was doing the cinematography for that.
Yeah. Okay. So how many days have you finished shooting for? What was it called? Echo 8.
Yes.
And have you finished the shooting for that or?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we finished.
Big shout out, Maria. Is he finished or what? Has he done all the shots? But how many days shooting was that? Like 10, 15 days? 30?
I'm pretty sure the original like first chunk that we shot, which was the beginning of 2020, just before the lockdowns happened.
Oh wow.
I think that was like maybe 9 days.
9 days pre-COVID.
Yeah, and then after that was just like pickups because I think we shot most of it.
Oh, you got the whole body done.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it was just like little bits that we were planning on. We're actually planning on shooting probably June last year, but we couldn't because of the whole, lockdown situation. I'm probably not going to say the C word just because you might go down in the algorithm.
No, I'll be fine.
Okay.
I get fine. Yeah, no,
Okay.
I do it already on. I do it right.
Okay, cool.
You can swear all you fucking like. I don't care.
Oh no, COVID.
Oh, the C word. That's C word. No, look, we can handle COVID, man. COVID's fine. Did we really lose ratings on COVID?
I've heard through like some of my YouTuber mates.
They're talking about COVID.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we weren't talking about COVID then. Yeah, this is not an anti-COVID or pro-COVID promotion. This is a non-COVID event.
Yeah.
Does that help it out?
I think it helps.
I think it helps.
As long as you state that.
Yeah, I've stated that now, so I should be okay in the algorithm. So Echo 8, 9 days. So yeah, a couple of pickups. So you reckon you've shot it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've shot it.
Pretty sure you shot
It's
it?
just post-production now. There's a fair bit of color correction and grading work to do.
Yeah, so did you shoot that on your Pocket 4K?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Because I've worked with you actually. Now that I think about it, I worked on a short film with you. You were the cinematographer for Maria Tran's film, Operation Kung Flu.
Yeah.
It's finally come to me. That was a pretty big crew. What was the crew like that you worked with on Echo 8?
It's pretty much the usual crew with Maria. We tend to work with like a lot of the same people, but everyone's good. Everyone's worked closely with Maria over the years, and we just all help each other out on each other's films and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, I just bring it up because with Maria, with her crew, like it was just a really tight crew. Everything was done. Everything was ordered properly. But as well, it wasn't totally like rigid. It had agility to it as well.
Yeah.
There's flexibility of work, and there was a collaborative environment as well. So I've been on some sets where there's none of that going on at all. It's just stark.
Yeah.
You've got a dictator that's yelling at people, and you go, you're just being really emotional, and you're acting on fear right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've worked with a few of those sort of people. It's never fun working with those.
Oh yeah, how many experiences like that have you had working with tyrant directors?
Sometimes it's not always directors. It can be other departments as well, but probably maybe 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay, well we won't dive too much into the nightmares of filmmaking.
Keep it happy, this podcast.
Yeah, we'll keep it up and sunny. But I've been on a few nightmare sets before, man, and it's just doesn't feel good. You do this to feel good. Another part of the component of doing this is to feel good. Directing makes me feel amazing. Like working together with people that are switched and dedicated, and we all got a common goal.
Yeah.
We're all running towards the same thing, and I always enjoy that moment. But there's always this moment on a shoot where you're like, fuck, man, this is killing me. Like, I haven't slept in days. I've got to go and do this other thing, and I've got to show up bubbly. They're going to expect me to perform. I've got shit to do.
Yeah.
And then you go through that torment, and then you just want to do it again. As soon as it finishes, you just want to do it again.
Yeah.
Happens every time. Usually right at the pinnacle of stress, you're like, fuck this, I'm never doing this ever again.
And then next week you're on a few more.
Yeah, someone rings you, goes, hey, man, you want to be on this film? You're like, yeah, right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Every time, man. I don't know. I don't think I've done the full wobbly out of the industry. Like, fuck it, I've had enough. I don't think I've ever done that. But there's certainly been some low moments where I've been really tired, and I'm just not disinterested, but disenchanted, because you go, man, because not everything pays off, and you don't always win, but you always chase the win, though. You're always chasing that win. But yeah, man, it was definitely. But you had a couple other shorts. How many other shorts you've worked on this year?
So Operation Kung Flu. I'm going to be working on Obsidian, which is like another upcoming like short sci-fi action film.
Okay, Obsidian.
Yeah, we're actually shooting it this weekend, so that's pretty cool.
Okay, man. So you're working every bloody weekend. Like I've looked, going through your profile, man. You're always working, always posting.
Yeah.
You know, you're constantly posting. Yeah. And what else was I looking at online about you? Oh yeah, your tutorials, man.
Oh yeah.
How long have you been running your YouTube channel for?
I opened up my YouTube channel in like 2009, but
Okay.
my content's always changing. Like I'm always like doing something, but then I'm like, nah, I don't really want to go down this road, and then I switch it up, and then yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting though. How your content's changing. I went through a bit of that because I was doing short films, and then I was doing web series, and I was putting those on the channel, and then I was using it as a tool as well, like to share content with clients. Yeah, because then you can just send a link of the video to them, make it a private share only link that they can't download,
Yeah.
and you can show them the product so far. And YouTube's really good for that. You can really control the content while observing the client, because you can see if it got a hit or not. Because there's only one person who can watch the video other than you. You go, oh, so they watched it at 3 a.m. Okay. You get an idea when they watch the content. So I find YouTube very useful that way. But then I started doing, obviously, the Pagey train, and then Made in the West, and then different streams. Like I think I've got like, I don't know, 6 or 7 different content streams on my channel that do different things.
That's cool.
Yeah, festivals, promotional content, short films, podcasting, music videos, a whole box and dice. But yeah, and I was watching some of your how-to videos, which got a lot of you've got a lot of decent hits on that. What pushes you towards doing how-to videos? Like, you go from cinematography, you want to do pretty pictures, integrate with people. What's the deal with doing how-to videos and helping people?
Well, yeah, I just enjoy teaching people. Whether that's like cinematography or editing. And plus, like, editing tutorials are like really easy to do as well. Because like if I'm doing cinematography how-to, I have to organize people and get them come out and like help me shoot some stuff. But when I'm doing editing tutorials, I just do a screen recorder and then just film myself talking and then just sync
splice
it up.
Yeah. What's some of the type of videos that you've taught people how to do things? What was your first go-to on how to teach someone how to do something?
It was probably a few years ago. I did like a camera like hacks video where it's like you get like household materials and you do something creative with it. So like a very popular one is the lens flare streak one, where you get the fishing wire in front of the lens and it kind of gives you that anamorphic streak.
Yeah.
And I just did like a mashup of that, and it actually got picked up by Unilad Tech.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool, seeing it get like nearly 1 million.
Yeah, would have got it. Yeah, uber bloody hits going through Unilad. Yeah. So you just put up a bit of fishing wire in front of the lens.
Yeah, and then I think there was one. It's like lens whacking, where you take the lens off your camera and you just like put it in front of it without it actually
connecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it gives you some sort of like trippy, like distortion.
Kaleidoscope sort of distortion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What was the first sort of edit sort of one that you did?
My very first tutorial was in DaVinci Resolve 15, because before, with the older versions of DaVinci Resolve, you didn't have like these transitions where it was like creative, and like a lot of people wanted to do glitch transitions, like with your logo there with the
that's easy to do. I just built the plugin for that.
Okay.
I can send it to you if you want.
in Resolve?
No, it's in FCP, man. Final Cut Pro, yeah.
That's cool. But yeah, you couldn't. There wasn't really many tutorials on like how to do that sort of thing. So then I combined like creative transitions. So I used the Fusion tab, which was new at the time.
Yeah.
Where you could do like motion graphics elements and visual effects, and I, made this tutorial, and it actually got. I think it's sitting around 120,000 views at the moment.
Yeah, man, that's really boss, man. Most of my documentary content only gets like 5,000, 6,000 views. Well, not only that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100,000 views. You've got to be happy with that.
Yeah.
That's why I've been thinking about I was looking at. I've been looking at a lot of tutorial formats because there's different ways you can do it. There's different ways you can skin a cat, right? And I've been really hungry to do because I do astrophotography.
Yeah.
And I've been really hungry to show people how I do it because I do it really. It's really simple. Like the way I do it, it's like I get a lot out of very little. Like the recent blood moon that was up, the lunar eclipse. I shot that with an iPhone, and I showed people that, and they're like, "Man, you shot that on an iPhone?" I'm like, "Well, it's hooked up to a telescope."
Yeah.
You know, I just got a little telescope mount, and I'm running it through a little 6-inch Celestron, stargazer. And when you go through, like a 12mm lens through a 6-inch telescope, you'll probably almost fill the aperture with the moon.
Oh yeah.
The moon will almost fill the entire aperture, in a maybe an f8 sort of level lighting, f8 f7 sort of light, and you can get a decent resolution of that through the naked eye. You get a very decent resolution. You can see the Sea of Tranquility. You can see the mountains on the moon with that kind of lens. But whacking an iPhone on it, iPhone has a zoom function, right? So then you can do like a zoom assist through the telescope.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. I did this really bizarre photograph one day. I did it totally by accident, because I've done like what you call photo stacking on Jupiter, right? So you take 1,000 stills of Jupiter, and you can run it through like an algorithm program that will remove all the blurry ones. Because essentially, when you photograph heavenly bodies, you gotta understand that we're on the bottom of a pool, looking up through the water, trying to recognize faces. Because you've got the atmosphere that has a wobble to it that will have a lensing effect on what you're observing, especially when you're photographing at an intense zoom. So when you take 1,000 photographs of it, there'll be so many that are blurred just by that fact alone. The objects that you're filming, especially Jupiter, turns at a high rate, so it's also turning. So the images are different as you're accepting them over 1,000 frames.
Yeah.
So if you do 1,000 frames over 25 frames a second, then you can get a decent pool of focused images of Jupiter. And then you take all the algorithm will allow you to take the blurry ones out, and then you'll take all of the sharp ones, and flatten them and stack it, and then you can color correct it.
Oh, nice.
Right? So it's called photo stacking. And I want to show people that because I've done that with an iPhone. Like I've taken 1,000 frames off an iPhone and photo stacked Jupiter, and I've gotten a high resolution shot using the shittest camera that you can fucking get, man. And I go, anyone could do that. Anyone, like maybe not the software side of it because that's more intensive, but at least photographing it as a single frame, you still get a decent shot. You can still see the bands and still see the moons of Jupiter. And so I was photographing Mars one day. I had my mate's kids round. And he goes, "Man, can you just show the kids some heavenly bodies and show them some planets, show them some star formations." Yeah. And Mars was high in the sky, and it was ironically the closest that Mars has been for about 15 years, because it's these circles that they run aren't perfect circles. They're elliptic in nature, and they're offset elliptics as well. So the sun isn't dead in the middle. The sun's actually offset in the ellipse. So an Australian summer is hotter than an American summer, because if this microphone is the sun, that's an Australian summer, and that's an American summer. It's not in the middle. It's offset.
Okay. That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, so you will always have a hotter summer in the southern hemisphere because the tilt and the distance to the sun is shorter. This is, and it's the same thing with the planets when you photograph them. They're at different positions. Like when you've got to photograph a planet across the sun, so if the Earth's there and you're there, it's difficult to do. But when you're on the same side of the sun, they're a lot bigger. They're twice the size. Yeah. So that's very different when you're dealing with magnification of that fine degree, like double the size as everything. Yeah. Mars was as close as it would be on our ellipse versus its ellipse for the next. I think it'll take another 15 years to be that close again. So I was photographing Mars, and it shows up as this little dot. And if you're really lucky, you might get a little white dot on the top of that orange dot, which is the cap. And I photographed the cap of Mars before, and it's like, wow, man, that was such a lucky shot to get that in a single frame rather than photo stacking it. That's really difficult to do. And so I did zoom assist going through the iPhone. So I had an iPhone 8 hooked up to a 6-inch telescope, 12 millimeter lens, and I could see this little thing flickering next to it. I figured out it was the moon of Mars. And there's 2 moons of Mars, Deimos and Phobos.
Yeah.
And Deimos, I actually photographed Deimos with an iPhone. Like,
Nice.
that's intense, dude. When you're talking about astrophotography, that's fucking intense, man. Like, because to get Deimos, because that's the moon that's furthest away from Mars. Yeah. It's hard to get Phobos because it's very close to Mars, and that light blends together. But to get Deimos, you usually need a 10-inch telescope. You need a really big aperture to capture it. To capture that much light and then to process it into a photograph, you need a lot of light.
Yeah.
And you need to be in the middle of nowhere. I did this off the balcony with like a street lamp, polluting my shot. And I photographed Deimos, man. This is 1 pixel. And I put it online. And I was like, I hope people understand how rare this photograph is. So I had to do this little blurb, and yeah, a few people PM'd me like, man, you are a fucking nerd, dude. What do you mean you photographed the moon of Mars? I'm like, that's what it is. Like, but you can look through the Hubble Space Telescope and get the same thing. I'm like, yeah, but it's not the same thing. I did it with an iPhone, bro.
Yeah.
Think back to Galileo when he's looking through, a refraction telescope, figuring out that there's moons on Jupiter,
Yeah.
I've got this tool that's way more powerful than that. And I can instantly Wi-Fi it to the internet and broadcast it to everyone I know.
Yeah.
It's like that's the present. Like, we ain't in the future yet. That's the present, man. I get excited about that kind of shit. I really do. Yeah. Sorry, man. I've just gone on an astronomy rant. But have you got any projects that are coming up?
Besides Obsidian, not at the moment. It's starting to die down. Like, last week was a really intense week, just back-to-back shooting, and then now it's like, it's starting to like wind down. But I'm sure it's going to pick up. There's going to be something.
Yeah, I've always looked at. I've got a terminology for this. I call it like it's like weather. So, making media products is like weather. Sometimes it's raining and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours too. Like, sometimes I can't. I've got 3 months booked of clients.
Yeah.
And someone else rings up and go, I can't book it in. I don't have the time.
Yeah.
It's not physically possible. And then you farm it off to a mate or whatever. But there's sometimes we go, 3 months I haven't had a client.
Yeah.
Like January, December, forget it. You ain't working January, December. Like, I don't know. Have you ever worked in January, December?
I do, because like there's a lot of like awards stuff, end of year sort of parties. Not so much January. That's usually the quiet month, but February it starts to kick off again.
Yeah, but, February kicks off, and then you get a big bump in July.
Yes.
All that tax money they want to spend. Or no, before June, in June,
yeah,
you get a whole bunch of work, and then in July you get a whole bunch of work.
Yeah.
Because it's before the tax write-off, and then after they get their tax back. Yeah, I find that's a big time to make money in the film industry is June, July.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always booked out June, July. Yeah, if you're not booked out June, July, you're not working hard enough.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm desperate for a leak. I'm going to go for a leak. You guys, chat amongst yourselves. I'll be back.
All right.
He loves these, like, talking about moons and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
He's gonna buy a $6,000 one.
Oh, wow.
For it. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's massive. He told me today. He's very passionate.
Yeah, no, it's good to have a passion that's like away from what you do as a day job. I've only recently found that out, to be honest. Because like I remember end of 2019, I was starting to get like a bit burnt out, and then COVID happened, and then not a lot of work was happening.
YouTube or just everything.
Filming.
And
Yeah, just with filming in general, just I was just overwhelmed with work, and then COVID happened, and then you kind of got to like step away from that, and then like find new hobbies and stuff like that. So I've only recently learnt to like have a balance, which is important.
He's back.
Yeah, sorry, lads.
No worries.
Well, I went to the pub before picking young Wade up.
No.
Yeah, and I had a friend that's leaving town, and I was hoping to say goodbye, but they were running late. And I'm a pool hall junkie. I play a lot of pool.
No. Yeah.
And big shout out, Jake, if you're listening. I know that sometimes you do. He whitewashed me today, 5-0.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been whitewashed for a long time. Yeah. Last week I had people call me the best ball player in Penrith, and this week I got whitewashed. That's life in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You're flushed and you're broke. Yeah, man. So no projects coming up really. But have you got any? Do you do any of your own personal work? Like, do you write and sort of shoot, or?
I mean, I would like to get into writing and directing, but I've just been trying to like focus on like my YouTube channel and trying to push that off the grounds.
Yeah, well, your YouTube channel does really well. You're like, you got a really decent subscription list.
Thanks.
And that's why I asked you the age. Like, how old's your channel? How long you been running it? Because like I have I have a small subscription, but a real loyal subscription. Like they all watch.
Yeah.
And I've got friends out there that have done the bots. Bot farming. And I don't recommend that to people. Don't bot farm. Don't bot farm. Just be you.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you got a really decent following, and yeah, because you can tell, man. Like you look at someone's. I was saying this to someone. I was in a meeting today, and we're talking about the value of a like. Because you can buy a like.
Yeah.
You can, and the price for a like in bulk is 1 cent.
Yeah.
If you don't buy a like in bulk, if you buy like little chunks of 20 likes or 50 likes, you can get between 20 and 50 cents for a like.
Yeah.
As soon as you purchase that like, it has no value. Because the person that liked is no longer watching your content. They'll just farm to like you. But if I went to you, I would go, hey Adam, man, I noticed you're watching some of my content. You've been like commenting, but you haven't actually subscribed to my channel. And then you subscribe to my channel. It costs me nothing.
Yeah.
But you're always watching, and now you're all registered for, notifications on the channel. That like has way more value than 50 cents.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a purchase like, it was an earned like.
Yeah.
So we're coming up with this idea today about what's the difference between a purchase like and a earned like. And when you draw those two lines together, where's the middle ground? When is a like purchased and when is it earned?
Yeah.
Because you can extrapolate it further. You're like, I'm not actually buying the like, but now I'm buying advertising space to sell my platform. So technically, I'm buying subscription.
Yeah, you can usually tell if somebody's bought their likes by like different ratios. So if somebody has like a lot of followers, but then only like
20 people watch their video.
Yeah. You can tell that they've bought, their followers and stuff like that. There are also tools out there where you can find out if a certain person has bought likes instead of like gained it through.
Oh, really? You can identify their site that way.
It's usually for like companies. So if they were trying to reach out to like an influencer, it's like a good way to make sure they're not getting,
a fraud.
Yeah.
Well, I think because then you look at. I was looking at some of this data today, and there seems to be a subscription-like bubble out there. If you look at some sites, and I want to be careful. I don't want to name anyone. I want to name and shame anyone. But there's certain sites that are looked at, through their social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, not TikTok. I don't do TikTok. You're a TikToker, aren't you?
Not really. I do have an account, but I don't really post on there.
Yeah, I'm not I cannot do TikTok. I won't do Twitter and TikTok. Anything that starts with a T, I'm not in. Well, I'm into some teas, but not all the teas. I'm just not into Twitter and TikTok. Yeah, no, I was talking. Yeah, I was looking at some of these companies today and looking at their like and viewership and the subscription, like a channel, likes per post and viewerships per post, and you look at that ratio. Like they got 500,000 likes, but 16 people watched the video. Like,
Yeah.
wow, because then you think about that as a ratio.
Yeah.
How does 16 fit into 500,000?
Yeah.
Let's say that let's say 10% had notifications on. No. 2% had notifications on.
Yeah.
You'd have way more than 16 likes.
Yeah.
So that means that less than 2% of their market doesn't have notifications on. So there you go. Their likes aren't real. Some marketing company has sold,
Yeah.
their content, and then to produce results, they've then falsified it by purchasing likes at a cheaper rate, worked out their profit margin, go, all right, so we charge them with the content, charge them with this, and then if I farm it out to this bot farm, then I can produce the results and say, pay me.
Yeah.
Because I guaranteed you 180,000 subscriptions, so I'll get them for you.
Mm.
I think it's a really dodgy way. I think that's there's the camera bubble and there's the like bubble.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of relationship between those two things. I prefer a genuine like. I want someone watching my content that is entertained by it. I want someone watching the content that is getting something from it. And I want to when they tick subscribe, I hope that they have an expectation for further content and they want to see more.
Yeah.
Because that's what it means to me. And looking at the analytics, other than bot farms, you can then figure out what the audience wants. You go, okay, you like that video, we'll go more of that. Or this sort of worked well, let's try that. Oh, that didn't work well, let's get rid of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I find I'm an analytic hound. I love looking at the data. And the irony is only 50% of that is a guess. Like, oh, the market's doing this. And then on another day, you do the same thing and no one responds to it. Or you do something that's so innocuous and everyone responds to it.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick. Have you ever looked at content in that sort of way?
I try not to. I usually just I try to just focus on like my own thing and people that are trying to do the same thing as well. But yeah, I try to avoid that.
I think that's a good notion as well. Surrounding yourself with people that are doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's helpful. That's definitely helpful. I think sometimes misery likes company.
Yeah.
And you'll see it in pubs. People I had such a shit day because of this fucking person.
Yeah.
And I think surrounding yourself with collaborators, you can get depressed. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's all roses, but I think all of us have an understanding. Like we were talking about it today, just before we got on air. How life can get you down as an artist, as someone that makes things, basically out of thin air. Like cinematography is something that is created out of thin air. Like before there was no shot, and now there's a shot.
Yeah.
And out of that shot, a lot is built. A lot of things happen from that single frame. In fact, it could be even used as a thumbnail. That's how useful cinematography is.
Yeah.
It's used everywhere. It can be repackaged and reformatted in so many different ways. But I guess the parts that get me down sometimes is that we're surrounded by media and there's an expectation. Like I shoot on GH4s. And some pocket 4Ks, but I want my Ursa.
Yeah.
I'll get my Ursa one day, but I've got to make sure if I'm buying an Ursa, it's got to make me money.
Yeah.
I can't
You gotta get a return on it.
You have to get a return on it. So I think that's other advice I give to people that are in the business. When you buy something, make sure it earns you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's collecting dust, man.
I'm also a big person. I like to get gear and I like to review it before I get the gear. So I need to make sure that the value is good as well as the return. So if I'm getting something that, let's say a tripod, I would look at a few different reviews on it and comparisons, which one works better in certain environments. And I would spend like a few days just like researching, gear before I go out and buy it. And I'll make sure that it's good value for money. So then when the return when I'm doing client stuff, is I get a bigger return on it.
Yeah,
Well.
yeah, I really enjoy that. I think I actually saw you working with a bit of gear the other day. You had it wasn't a gimbal, it was an old school gimbal.
Yeah.
You know how to use an old school gimbal?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you do that?
Well, when I was starting out, I actually bought myself like a really cheap one years ago, and I just put my DSLR on it, and I just like practiced. I went to like different events, and I just really got used to the control of it, because it does take a bit of time to get used to that.
Dude, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Like, the most useless bit of kit I've ever bought for myself is a motorless gimbal, like a manual gimbal.
No.
The weighted gimbal.
I actually prefer the weighted gimbal than motorized now, because especially with the Pocket 4K, it's a bit of an awkward camera. So putting it on gimbals, like gimbals don't really like this camera because it's just awkward and it's quite
it's
bulky.
weighted. It's weighted differently.
And also,
Yeah.
I found when I was working on Echo 8, changing from tripod to gimbal would take me ages, and I was just like, because I had to take everything off of the Pocket 4K, then rearrange it for the gimbal. And that would take me like 10 minutes, and everyone's like, waiting, and everyone's just like looking at their clocks, and like the AD is just like, oh, how long are you
Hurry
going
up,
to take?
hurry up.
And I realized getting like a steady cam is just a really quick way, because I can build it up the way I want to and just take
Bolt
it out.
on, bolt off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. My solution to this problem was get two cameras that shoot exactly the same with the same lenses. Because then I just rig the motor the motor gimbal,
Yeah.
and once it's set, it's forget. Set it, forget it.
Yeah.
When a gimbal shot comes up, rock and roll it. Turn it on, do your shot, turn it off.
Yeah.
Go back to your tripod.
That's a good point. But I've only got one Pocket 4K. So
Yeah, but when you're running your asset and you go, oh shit, man,
Yeah.
I can't put it out there. But man, just doing I remember I practiced for hours trying to do this thing, and I could not get it right. And I surf and skate, man.
No.
Like, it's like, and you think it's about balance and coordination. What is it about using a motorless gimbal that wins you the shot?
Well, first you want to make sure it's weighted properly, because it'll do most of the work for you once you've set it up, and it just stays where it is, and then you're just simply using your fingers to guide it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just like lightly tapping it, because every time I pass the gimbal off to somebody to like try it out, they always grip it. They always just go and like do a tight grip on it, but I always tell them that you got to like lightly touch it.
Yeah,
and,
let
like,
it balance.
Yeah.
That's really good advice, because I was doing exactly what you just described. Like, I'd grip it and try and create a center of balance, and then it would always go off balance.
Yeah.
Because it's like balancing a knife on your hand, I guess.
Yeah.
You got to balance it in your hand. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah. So I should have looked at it from a martial arts point of view. It's a weapon, right? You got to hold on to it like a weapon. But yeah, speaking of skating, actually, man, I've watched some of your fucking skating videos, man. I fucking love your skating videos.
Thank you.
Man, because you use like a 360 camera, yeah?
Yes.
And you skate through these really cool, like, venues. Like, tell us a little bit about that. What's driven you to be a skater and a filmer?
Well, before I got into filmmaking, when I was like 8 years old, I bought myself like a skateboard, and I pretty much started doing that. I played the Tony Hawk skating games back in the day, and I think that's probably what got me into it, actually.
You're doing the impossible.
Yeah.
What was that like? Was it 2270? I can't remember.
Yeah, you kind of flip it around your foot and then you land it.
Yeah,
But,
the impossible. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was doing that for a few years, and then I stopped maybe just before I got into like high school.
Okay.
And then I focused on doing film stuff, and it was only, I think 2 years ago I started to get back into skating, because I found my old skateboard from like 15 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, it was tattered. The grip tape was worn. The wood part of the skateboard was chipped and flaky and all that sort of stuff. But I was still riding it, because I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a go.
I had a board like that once. Yeah.
I actually still have it. I haven't thrown it out, because
You still got it?
Yeah.
I had
Memories.
I had an affectionate board. I had it for, I don't know, maybe 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
And it had all the scratches from grinds, and I had these really, like, they were revolutionary trucks at the time. They're called Webs.
Okay.
Right, they were like web trucks. And then I upgraded to, at the time, like before that, you had Nachi bearings, right? Nachi was like the fastest bearing you can get. And then you get porcelains. You ever heard of porcelain bearings?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, so when you got metal bearings in a skateboard, when they get hot, they expand because it's metal. So your board slows down, right? So
Okay.
with porcelain, right, they don't get hot. It just stays fast. So you can carve a park and carve without the board creating lag. 'Cause with metal bearings, after you're pumping a half pipe or you're pumping a skate park, there'll be about 4 or 5 runs, and then your board will get hot and it will become sluggish. It slows down a little bit. But I call them a nightmare board. Like, because you got a skating mate would come up to you, go, man, let me have a go at your board. Like, no, you don't want to go on my board, bro. They're like, shit, that's a fast board. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like throwing an ice skate across ice. Like, it's fast.
Yeah.
Like, Nachi bearings were like the shit because they were very well lubricated. They put metal in it that didn't expand as much as other cheaper sort of irons that were used in alloys and other boards. But yeah, man. I used to love it, man, carving up. But you get a 360 camera though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you were skating through, what was it? Granville? Not Granville, sorry. Central.
No, it was International Convention Center.
Oh, I think you skate through there?
Yeah. The security didn't like us, but it was fun.
Free country?
Yeah. You just skate away from them. They can't do anything.
Yeah, they're not going to catch you anyway.
No.
They've had too many cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Skate or die, kids. That's what I always say. Yeah, man, I'm big on skating. It used to be, like, because you're 25 right now. You've been skating since you were, like, 12 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I was skating since I was 12, and then, like, we didn't have skate parks when I was younger. They had the Mexican hat. So you get a Mexican hat with no coping, right?
Okay.
And you'd learn how to drop in on that. And then they brought out skate parks when I was about 19, 20. And then, I was carving parks for a good decade, doing because then you do half pipe. And then you start to learn to do vert. Doing vert is fucking awesome. Such an exhilarating feeling. When you fuck up, it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
But it's a very addictive thing to do.
Yeah.
It's quite exhilarating. But when you get about 33, you don't bounce anymore, you thud. So
Okay.
So if you hurt yourself, you're out for 6 weeks. And if you're doing contract work and you're like, you can't be out for 6 weeks because that's your rent, man.
Yeah.
So I was around about 36, 35, 36. I gave up skateboarding.
Okay.
It sucks, man. I miss it. I do miss it. But I replace it with what I've always done as well beyond that is bodyboarding. So a lot of body surfing, bodyboarding as well. And I've supplement. It's this very similar feeling, similar exhilaration that you get. But you're a street skater though. You don't do park.
I do a little bit of park, but I basically grew up just in my backyard doing tricks. So I didn't really go to the skate park a fair bit. But yeah, I go with like a few friends. We now it's pretty much weekly. We go to the skate park and we just hang out and just push each other to do better, I guess.
Yeah. How can you ollie?
I can ollie, yeah.
You can ollie?
I can almost kickflip.
Can you kickflip? Oh, I could never kickflip.
I can kickflip if I'm holding onto a rail. I can actually land it.
Oh, you can land a kickflip by holding a rail?
But yeah, as soon as I...
Yeah, because you've got to get that foot forward and then flip it. You've got to flick it with your toe. Yeah.
But actually, using a rail I found was like really helpful because before when I tried doing a kickflip, I'd kick the board out and my legs would kind of spread out as well instead of going straight up and down. To catch it. And now since I've been, holding onto the rail and trying to land it that way, I've kind of gotten like a better footing now. So like I'm very close. Like I feel like I'm a few weeks away.
And you're creating that muscle memory of how to do it as well. What about the roll and drop in? Can you do the roll and drop in yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, you got to get that roll and drop in, bro.
I remember when I was a kid and the few times I'd go to the skate park, I'd see people try to do it for the first time and they always like stack it pretty bad.
If you fuck it,
it's always
it's bad. My advice to you though on the rolling drop in, lean more forward than back. Because if you lean back on that shit, you're gonna kiss a fucking wall, like intimately, like audibly. Right, you're gonna really hit the wall. Yeah. So if instead of under committing to a drop in, is way worse than overcommitting.
Okay.
Like the consequences are they're vastly different.
Okay.
Undercommitting, the board's leaving you, and it's going to go sending through the park, and you're going to fly into the wall that you just tried to drop in on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Overcommitting, the board's going to sort of like tumble behind you, and you're going to hit the ground.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's like you can roll your shoulder into it, sort of roll out of it. Like is it easy? Like overcommitment is easy rollout than undercommitment. It's very much throughout skating. When you're trying to do a rail, when you're trying to pop air, overcommitting is way better than undercommitting. So if you're gonna do it, like as they say, if you're gonna do it, fucking do it.
Yeah.
Speed will get you through.
Yeah.
Especially going over a box as well. So when you do a rolling drop in, you're like, well, now I've got to pass this box.
Yeah.
Right? Just overcommit the box. Overcommit it and ride it through. Land air. Landing air is so awesome, dude. Have you landed air?
Not yet.
Oh, dude. You got to land some air, bro.
No.
Yeah, even just do a static drop in, holding onto the board against the coping,
No.
and then do a static drop in. Static drop ins will get you closer to your rolling drop in, but a rolling drop in and collect coping on the other side, all you've got to do at that point is follow the board.
No. Yeah.
Just follow through with it, because if you get scared of the board, then you're gonna flick the board away,
Yeah.
and you're gonna go, because you're in the air, you're gonna go the other way.
Yeah.
You want to stay with the board.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Staying on the
It's
board
good
is
advice.
staying on the board is way better than being off the board.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, try the static drop-ins, and I'd highly recommend overcommitment,
Okay.
because when you overcommit, you'll fuck it up, right? Like you will drop in, and then your shoulder will drop into the ground.
Yeah.
But if you undercommit, you're gonna get a concussion. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. So drop in on something. Do a 4 foot. Don't go dropping in on a 6 footer.
There is a park nearby where they've got like a really small one, so I don't know if that's a good idea.
It is. It really is, because the consequences are way less drastic.
Mm.
Like I've done you see that big lump there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've broken my elbow, skating before. I've almost broken other bones skating. But yeah, no, it was a park problem actually. I went over a box, landed on top of the box, and then went to go rolling drop in on the other side, and there was a little bit of concrete worn away from the coping. And my board got stuck, and I went into the park at full velocity.
Oh.
Like, imagine like you rolling start, throw the board down, jump the board, rolling start. Going.
Yeah.
Yeah, my elbow hit the ground so hard, all my body weight went right onto my elbow, and it echoed through the park. I heard the echo of my bone breaking.
Wow.
It was fucking intense, man. I refused to accept my arm was broken, and I drove a manual car home. Yeah, no, it's not broken, it's just sprained. It'll be fine. Yeah, so I went to the doctor, and they said, "No, you got a broken arm, bro." And it was broken in such a way I couldn't even cast it. It was right on the edge of the elbow. I couldn't cast it, so I had to have an exposed broken bone. Not exposed bone, but.
So I'm pretty sure you'd be able to tell if it was broken if it was exposed.
Oh yeah, but you can see the difference. Like, look at the difference between those elbows.
Yeah.
Like, look at that sucker. Like,
Yeah.
it has a new bit of meat on it. There's a bit of bone floating around in there, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so the payoff can be bad.
Yeah.
It can go wrong on you. But you've got to understand, like, that was like out of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, I don't even know how many drop-ins and collecting air over a box.
Okay.
Collecting air over a box and doing board grab, you're living the dream, bro.
No, yeah. One day. Baby steps.
Baby steps, yeah, but do it. You got 10 years left, man. You got 10 years left of doing that sport. Like, there's you can't skate forever.
Fair enough.
Unless you're Tony Hawk, man,
He's still going.
who've got chops. Who've
Yeah.
got chops, man. And he does like that suicide run on that bloody he owns a property with that big fucking skate ramp.
Oh yeah.
And you got to clear the gap. I saw a clip the other day of a 10-year-old girl clearing it. I'm like,
I think I saw that one.
I just feel really small. There's no way I could clear that gap. I'd die.
Yeah. But when you have 10, you can bounce back from injuries. I know that sounds.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
But when you get older, it takes a little while to heal.
It just gets worse, bro. Just gets worse. That's why I don't mind. I go bodyboarding with my father-in-law.
No.
And I think he's 70 now. A big shout out, Neil. Yeah, man. I used to do like 6 footer waves, but he does like what's 4 meters? That's like 12 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does like just shy of 4 meter waves, and I went surfing with him. Like he's an insane person. But then I started doing these really big waves, and then I can't go back. Like once you drop in on that shit, you go. That's just what I do. Like, and it's all like I dream about. Like when I was skating, always dreamt about it. Dreamt about skating all the time.
No. Yeah.
Dreamt about like the strange things that you dream about that are artistic, because skating's a bit artistic, right?
Yeah.
Like I've dreamt about surfing. I've dreamt about skating. I've dreamt about editing. Like I dream about editing. Like I dream about movies that I edit.
Okay.
And I dream about movies that I shoot, and I dream about movies that I direct. That's what I wake up, and I dream about writing. I dream about writing music actually a lot. Like I wake up with a song in my head, and I'm in the shower getting ready for work, and I record myself. This is really geeky, guys. This is really geeky. But if you're writing lyrics out there, kids, make sure that you've got the ability to record yourself at all times. So I have the phone up in the shower, and if I've got a nice song idea, I roll it and I go, right, this is the layout.
Yeah.
There's an unconscious state that is very conscious in a paradoxical way for me. Like I do my best writing when I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of like surfing the wave.
Yeah.
Like that's why I asked you about cinematography, right? It's like it's an interesting question. Like I know that I've really blown your mind, right? I've blown your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
But when you're surfing, right, you've got the whole Indian Pacific Ocean, whatever ocean you're in, you've got the whole ocean behind you, right? And if you get in sync with the ocean, you'll have the best ride of your life. You'll have a really exhilarating time. You'll have a tube cooling around you. You'll feel the wind in your face so you're travelling that fast on a wave. You'll have a fun time. But if you get out of sync, you'll be rolled by a 4-meter wave that just sends you to fucking hell and back. And then you go up and come up for air, and there's another one to meet you.
No, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It can go wrong. It can go wrong real quick. Collecting air over a box while grabbing your board, great feeling.
Yeah.
But if you fuck that up, there's consequences.
Yeah.
There just is. And I find there's a relationship between that and filmmaking. There really is, man. Like, you have to be ballsy to shoot a film.
Yeah.
It takes balls.
Yeah.
Because when it's on that cinema screen at 4 stories high on a VMAX screen, everyone can see your work. There's no escape.
Yeah.
It's just you and that fucking texture, man. That's it. If you didn't shoot it right, it's out of focus, everyone will see it.
Yeah. You don't want it to be out of focus.
You want it to be the best it can be.
Yeah.
You want it to be synchronized with the universe and doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Even though it's got the whole ocean behind it. And that's why I like to be a cinematographer. That's why I like to be a director. That's why I like to surf. That's why I like to skate. That's why I like to do archery. It's like why I like to shoot. Like there's these things that are precise in nature, but one attribute wrong, it's nowhere near perfect. And that, for me, that's what cinematography is. It's perfect. It's perfection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I think I've blown your mind, man.
Yeah. I've never thought of like cinematography like that. It's just, I just shoot things. I enjoy shooting it. I like it when it just connects and gels, and you look at it and be like, wow, this is really cool. Because sometimes, with cinematography, a lot of the work, it's very like fast turnaround, especially the stuff that I do. So it's just like you got to just keep going, and then especially when there's like specific moments when it just like it all just like combines, all the elements combine, and you just get like this really cool image, and you're like, wow, that actually worked really well. Sometimes you don't even expect something to happen in front of the screen, and then it just happens at the right time, and you're like, whoa.
There's a destiny serendipitous nature to it.
Yeah.
Like that perfect wave. Like I didn't plan the wave, but I dropped in on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I find that, see what I'm talking about, that relationship?
I get what you're saying now.
There's a relationship between this randomness and this organisation, because when you do film, it's organised, right?
Yeah.
But anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything can go wrong. You've got 100 things that got to go right. Any one of those things goes wrong, you've lost a shot.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, there's 20 random things that may happen.
Yeah, I find you've also got to be really good at problem solving as well, because a lot of things do go wrong, and sometimes equipment, dies on you, or some things get lost, and you just gotta like,
Work around it.
yeah,
You got to circumnavigate.
yeah,
You got to be quick on your feet. You got to be agile.
yeah,
Agile and calm.
yeah, very
You
calm.
got to be calm because as soon as you start getting stressed, that stress is going to transcribe to everyone else in the room.
Yeah, I've actually gotten a lot of compliments from people for when I'm like doing cinematography. Is like I'm very calm on set. Like I've just got this like really zen attitude. Like
You do.
a lot of like things could go wrong on set, and I'll just be like, yeah, whatever, and then just go with it.
Yeah, you do roll with the punches, bro. Like
Yeah.
when I work with you, like, cause I work with you on that film, man. You definitely are a cinematographer that rolls with the punches. You weren't a very vocal cinematographer. Like, a lot of cinematographers are vocal.
Yeah.
They're quite vocal. Like you'll have the director and the cinematographer, and they'll be like either working with each other in a loud fashion or working against each other in a loud fashion.
Yeah.
I didn't have that experience with you. The experience I had with you was you're very calm, cool, collected, easy going.
Yeah, because I usually just trust the director with the shots that they want to get, and I'm just pretty much there to like help get the image for them, and then every now and then I might come up with suggestions to make it better, or we're crossing the line and we can't exactly do that.
Oh, breaking the rules of cinematography.
Yeah,
You can't do that.
sometimes you can, but for a lot of the stuff you don't really want to.
You only can break the rules when you know the rules.
Yeah.
You got to know what they are before you're breaking them. There's one example that I really like, and it's Mr. Robot. Have you ever watched Mr. Robot?
Sounds familiar.
It's a movie about a series about a hacker that has a split personality. So it's like Fight Club but hackers.
Is it
You know the movie Hackers?
Is it Rami Malek?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way they break all the rules of cinematography except for one, and that's crossing the line. The only thing they don't do is cross the line. They break that. You know how you got the headroom rule?
Yeah.
They break that all the time. Like they'll frame it like that.
Yeah.
They'll put it out of the looking room.
Yeah.
They'll because you got headroom, looking room, shot, reverse shot. They break all of that deliberately, and then they will take a majestic shot, and then make it over symmetry. Because when things can be too symmetry,
Yeah.
they pick deliberately shots that are so symmetry. It's like a little bit off-putting. It's too majestic.
Yeah.
It's too pretty, and then they put a granular look on the texture, so it's dark. It's morbid. So you have this morbid feeling through this angular environment, and you realise, oh, this is a show about a schizophrenic. And you realise that the cinematography is looking at schizophrenia without saying a word. Like, it really does that job. But they broke those rules by fundamentally understanding them.
Yeah.
A lot of other directors that I work with, they don't always necessarily understand the rules of cinematography, and they're proven too. They work.
Yeah.
Cinematography works. It really does. You can empower someone.
Yeah.
You can make someone look tall by shooting a low angle up at them.
Yeah.
You can make them look small by shooting down at them. And most TV that we do, it's all eye line.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you got all eye line because it's all even and fair.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with narrative, you can really fuck with that.
Yeah.
Hitchcock was great at this, looking down at victims and looking up at adversaries.
Yeah.
Always chose an angle that had a deliberate sense of a psychological effect.
Yeah.
If you look into the study of this, it's actually called Semiotics. Oh wow, $1.30. Shit, man. It's called Semiotics. So you got the signifier and the signifiee. The signifier is trying to say a message, and the signifiee accepts that message. Like an example in editing is that you can take a stark face, just take a photograph of my face, right?
Yeah.
And then show a bowl of food after it. What's my emotion? Oh, he's hungry. Show a coffin after it. Oh, he's depressed. But it's the same photograph of the face. So you can use visual presentations are language. And the way that they're arranged is language. That's why I find it interesting. Cinematographer or editor, and you pick the creation of pictures rather than the arrangement of them.
Yeah.
I think there's something in that. I don't know what to unpack with that with you, Mr. McPhilbin.
I guess I like being there and like in the environment, I guess, and I like lighting. I like manipulating lights and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
And colors, I guess.
So I think we've got to it, Adam. I think we figured it out. Why does Adam McPhilbin like cinematography? I think it's like being in the moment.
Yeah.
You like being in the moment and collecting beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got it.
It's a
Oh,
good
is
way,
it-
yeah.
It only took me an hour and a half to get it. Oh, man, look, I've got to wrap it up. I'm about to run out of batteries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're about to run out of battery power. Man, but thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Man, you're an inspirational guy. Don't forget to go check out Adam on McPhilbin. You can find him on YouTube. You got
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
TikTok. Everyone loves TikTok. No, man, look, totally go and check out Adam out online. Definitely horrible to do corporate videos. Definitely horrible to do music videos. Find your editor, because us cinematographers hate editing music videos. But hey, if you pay us enough, we'll do anything. But man, look, once again, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right. And you've been watching The Pagey Train. Don't forget, you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple iTunes. In fact, you can find us on Amazon. Who the fuck ever would have known? But anyway, you can also find us on Anchor, and you can find us on iHeartRadio. Your iHeartRadio guys are growing out there. I'm loving you. You're really cool. And of course, don't forget to go across to YouTube. Every subscription counts, and as we've been talking tonight, your like is important. You're not a bot. You're a real person. Don't forget to subscribe. We love you. You've been watching The Pagey Train, and we'll see you next time. Sonic Boom. I think I'm really happy with that sign-off.
It's a good sign off.
It's not too bad. Not too bad.